Next, Chair lays out House Bill 1988 and recognizes Vice Chair Lujan to explain the bill.
All right. Thank you, Chairman Cook, Vice Chair Jones, and committee members. Currently, there are almost 1,000 youth in Texas Juvenile Justice Department facilities across the state. According to TJJD, these youth are increasingly high risk and high need. It has become difficult to find contract care to provide these youth with the extra support services they require. We critically need investments and support programs that make a difference in these facilities and in the lives of these youth. This bill, House Bill 1988, amends the Human Resource Code to allow voluntary disclosure of information concerning a person who is committed to the Juvenile Justice Department. The reason for this is due to a current issue the Credible Messengers program is having in their ability to serve in TJJD facilities. Credible Messengers are individuals who, since their release from state custody, have proven to be positive contributors to society and show a willingness to mentor youth on a variety of topics. However, current law prohibits TJJD from disclosing information about youth previously in the agency's custody. This limits the ability of both staff and Credible Messengers to publicly discuss these programs, highlight their success, and expand services through an entirely voluntary waiver. This bill simply allows the program to grow by giving the agency and its partners greater flexibility. Members, I have been to each facility personally, well, all of them during the interim. Twice, yeah, several times, and know what a difference a program like this can make. I believe we have some Credible Messengers here today who can speak even more on this topic and the life-changing work that is being done through their efforts. I'm happy to answer any questions and respectfully reserve the right to close.
Any questions for Chairman Lujan? All right, thank you, Chairman. We'll give you an opportunity to close after we hear from the witnesses.
Thank you.
Thank you. Chair calls Dieter Cantu.
All right.
All right, would you please state your name?
Dieter
Cantu.
Cantu.
And you're testifying on your own behalf?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And you're testifying in support of
HB
House Bill 1988.
88.
Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You may proceed.
All right. Good morning. My name is Dieter Cantu. I'm the founder of Juvenile Rights, a juvenile justice consultancy firm led by formerly incarcerated people.
Can I interrupt you, Mr. Cantu? So is Juvenile Rights, is that an organization?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Yes, sir.
I just want to we'll make that clear and waive your permission to update it if necessary as far as Juvenile Rights. That's the full name of the organization?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
You may proceed.
But yeah, I'm the founder of Juvenile Rights, a juvenile justice consultancy firm led by formerly incarcerated people, all of whom I met as a child while serving the time inside of Texas Youth Commission. I'm here today to advocate in support of House Bill 1988. As a child, I was arrested and sentenced to 10 years in the Texas Youth Commission. I served that time at Giddings State School, and I stand before you not just as someone who survived that experience, but as someone who has committed his life to transforming it. Today, I volunteer in the very same facility I once lived in, not as an inmate, but as a mentor, an organizer, and an advocate for youth still trapped in the same cycle we broke free from. We built a program that educates system-impacted youth, connects them with pen pals, and co-creates success plans that they can use in court when they turn 19 and face a judge who will decide if they go to the adult prison or receive a second chance. When youth are released, we surround them with the support they need, such as housing, employment, education, and community. But here's the tragedy. The very people who built this program, people who have healed, grown, and dedicated their lives to service are often prohibited from stepping foot in these facilities because of their records. So what does redemption look like in Texas? What does restoration truly mean? If the people who have endured the worst of this system, who have transformed their pain into purpose, are still treated as permanent threats, then the system isn't broken. It's doing exactly what it was designed to do, punish and exclude. Many of the most qualified, credible, and culturally competent individuals in our network are being denied access to the very places they are most needed. These are not theoretical solutions. These are lived solutions. People have put in the work, earned their way back, and still get turned away at the door. We talk a lot about public safety, but I want to challenge you all to think bigger about public healing, about public truth-telling, because for the things we have endured, trauma, criminalization, separation from our families, we won't receive reparations. But we can be allowed to repair. We can be allowed to return with purpose. House Bill 1988 just isn't about second chances. It's about system credibility. It's about reclaiming what justice actually means. It would allow agencies to consider lived experience as a form of expertise, not a disqualifier. It would allow us to legally and safely engage the people who know what it takes to disrupt generational incarceration and replace it with generational healing. I urge you to support this bill, not just because it's the right thing to do, but because it's the just thing to do, the necessary thing to do. This is how we shift from symbolic reform to tangible transformation.
That completes your testimony, Mr. Cantu?
Yes, sir.
Well, thank you for your testimony. Thank you for, establishing the organization that you have established and for being involved in trying to make things better based on your prior experiences. We do appreciate you coming here and testifying. And Vice Chair Jones, recognized.
Absolutely.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for
You
having me.
inspired me.
I appreciate it.
Let me tell you what I know.
Okay.
A lot of times when you have people who are, and you know this, so I almost think I'm probably going to be preaching with the choir, that when you're struggling and people don't understand your struggle and other people come back to speak with you who have had no struggle, you literally don't relate to them.
Absolutely.
You're like, you don't know what I'm talking about. You ain't homeless.
Right.
Your mama got a good job or whatever it is.
Right.
And when there's somebody who's been there, done that, who literally has been in the exact same situation as you have something instantaneously that's a connection.
Without that.
And I have, I think of a cousin that I have many cousins who went to TDC, but one in particular, who was written off by society and served a very long time in TDC. And when he came out of TDC, he was like, I don't want kids, because he got arrested when he was 16 for what he was charged with. And stayed and went to TYC and then to TDC until he was 34. And literally has not gotten in trouble again. Started off appreciating the very low-level job that he had and worked his way up until he's a supervisor over a whole bunch of people making good money. Right. Arguably one of the men in my family who makes the most money. Had the opportunity to meet and marry a nurse. I mean, right. She's better than me because I'd probably be like, no, you've been at TDC, I ain't doing it. And he literally goes around and he speaks to people and he's able to connect with young people who generally don't connect with people. So I absolutely believe that your residency, it really wasn't residency, your incarceration in TYC should be used, if you've turned your life around, as expertise to be able to help these kids who clearly the system hasn't figured out how to deal with. Right. And I don't know if you've noticed this. I sit here, my colleague, Rep. Johnson, who's sitting there, she's a lawyer. That sounded like a great opening argument, and I'm certain you're a closing argument. So you might ought to want to think about going to law school because you are exceptionally persuasive. I appreciate it. And I'd be willing to bet you money with the way you've presented yourself. When people see you, they would have never guessed that you served in TYC.
10 years.
So I'm just thankful that you don't look like what you've been through.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kenton, too. We appreciate your testimony.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Next chair calls Carlisle's Locks. All right, Mr. Locks, we show you registered as Carlisle. Is it Carlisle?
Carlis.
How do you spell it?
Carlies.
Okay, just want to make sure we
The
have
E
it
is
right.
silent.
Locks, and you're also testifying on behalf of juvenile rights,
Yes, sir.
and you're testifying in favor of House Bill 1988.
Yes, sir.
Okay, please proceed.
Good morning. How y'all doing? My name is Carlis Locks. I am with Dear the Cantor consultant that wants to goes in and talk to the youth. I ain't really just good with talking to the youth like that, but I do understand what they're going through, and I do understand that they need to talk to someone that actually been down the road with them. You said everything I really wanted to say, so I'm really kind of like what I'm going up here for. But I really want to just talk to them and let them know that I understand. I want to get them my knowledge of how you need to come out with a great mental, because it's easy to just go back. It's so much trouble to just easily fall back into. And I want to feed them the mental and the understanding of, like, not to give up, not to quit, like, because I know how it is. I came a long way, like a long way. So to be in the position I'm in now is too incredible to just not come back and try to help other people get to my position. Because there's not a lot of people trying to do what we're trying to do. And we're really trying to make a change, and we can't make the change if nobody's going to help us try to make the change. So I'm just really trying to come up here and get an understanding of helping the youth. It starts with the people that actually been through it, that real life have a testimony of giving back. Like, I've been there, so I understand. I'm not paying attention to somebody that ain't understanding what I'm going through right now. Yeah, I understand that you're trying to help me, but you don't know what it's like being here. You don't know what we're going through. You don't know what they're telling us. You don't know how they're handling us. You don't know what they're feeding us. I actually know what they're going through. I actually know what they've been through. I actually know what they're feeding them. I know what they're telling them. I know how they handle them. I know how they're restraining them. I actually been there, so I know how to actually have a conversation for where they can understand where I'm coming from at the same time.
Well, thank you, Mr. Locks, for your testimony. Appreciate you coming here and sharing your story and being a willing participant with juvenile rights, and look forward to continuing to hear from you guys. Chair recognizes Vice Chair Jones.
So I want to thank you, Carlos, because you said the E is silent, right? Is that what you said?
Yes, ma'am, it is silent.
And for the record, we needed to hear what you had to say, and whether you speak like Mr. Cantu or not, you have something to say. And I'm going to say this again. People who are struggling need some connectivity with people who've been there and done that. And so thank you for paying attention to what we do here in the state legislature, and appreciate the value of us being able to pass laws to be able to help reform juveniles, because a lot of people are struggling so bad they don't have time to pay attention to what's going on. Not necessarily because they don't care, but because they're struggling. And so whenever there are people like you who are available to help in an area where Texas government generally hasn't been able to help, I respect you and I appreciate you.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. Is there anyone else who wishes to testify on, for, or against House Bill 1988? Hearing none, Chair recognizes Chairman Lujan to close on the bill.
Thank you, Chairman and members. I'm very proud to bring this bill, and I request favorable consideration, and I close.
Thank you, Chairman. If there's no objection, House Bill 1988 will be left pending. Is there any objection? Chair hears none, and House Bill 1988 is left pending. Thank you for presenting it, Chairman